Meta released earnings, and the stock that was already crushed dropped another 20% after hours, getting to $104. In case you are wondering if it's time to buy or sell, I'll show you why I think the price is completely irrational. For that, I'll use my discounted cash flow model, their updated numbers, and comments made during the earnings call. I'm gonna consider one really bad scenario, one very conservative, and one that I actually think is realistic, not even being bullish. Something important to note is that my assumptions consider 5 years going forward. For revenue growth, Meta has an incredible track record, growing above 20% every single year until 2021. Due to Apple's privacy changes, TikTok's competition making them transition to Reels, and a weak market for advertising, this year it's basically flat, and it won't get better in Q4. Meta is expecting revenues between $30 and $32.5 billion for the fourth quarter, against a $33.7 billion on the same period last year. It won't get much better in 2023 either. They are not expecting any significant revenue growth. Although things look pretty bad, Meta is still growing users on all platforms. They reached 3.7 billion monthly active users and have the potential to unlock big new revenue streams from their current products. I also don't expect advertising to suck forever. Things will get better sooner or later. As we are in dark times and my goal in this video is to show how irrational prices got, I'm gonna consider 3% average growth per year for the next 5 years on the bad case, 7% on the conservative, and 11% for the realistic. Moving on to share change, they can always be positive or negative, through the company issuing more shares to raise money, or by doing share buybacks, reducing the amount of shares in the market, and consequently, increasing shareholders' position. So, it's a little weird to see, but a positive change here is bad, while a negative change is good. Meta recently started buying back shares more aggressively, and so far they have done 6% in 2022, which will probably be 8% until the end of the year. I personally would like to see them being even more aggressive here, considering they have $42 billion in cash and the stock price is so low. I mean, the market cap is now under $300 billion. It was over $1 trillion last year. Good times. I'll use very low conservative numbers going forward, 3% on the bad, 4% on the conservative and 5% on the realistic. On profit margins, Meta had a big decrease this year. They used to have great margins, but all the negative factors I mentioned on revenue growth affected their margins as well, and what used to be well above 30% is now at its all-time low, at 24%. And from what I understood in the earnings call, it's gonna get worse before it gets better, since their revenues will stay flat and cost will go up a bit. But I do expect this to turn around in 2024 and going forward, with the overall market getting better and some of their investments on new ventures paying off. So I'll consider a decrease to 22% on the bad scenario, 24% on the conservative, and a small increase to 26% on the realistic. For price to earnings, let's take a quick look at their historic numbers. Oh boy, can you believe Meta's PE is under 10? This is just disrespectful. Before 2022 their lowest PE was 17. Even in March 2020, when the whole market crashed and the world was about to end, their PE only dropped to 23. To keep sense with the assumptions I just made, I'll do some real low numbers as well. 10, 12, and 18. Keep in mind the market average is 15, and Meta, at least in my opinion, is well above average. By the way, I've recently made a video going deeper on Meta's fundamentals. I'll leave a link in the description. On expected returns I always use 15% per year in all scenarios, above the 10% market average, which gives me a safety margin. Before I reveal the prices I got and show how massively undervalued the stock is, remember that this is not financial advice. Also, smash that subscribe button to get more videos like this and help the channel grow. Alright, for the bad case, where there is almost no growth and terrible margins, in order to get 15% gains per year, the fair value for the stock is 102, a 1% difference from current prices. So, I'd say the market is pricing in a disastrous scenario irrational, in my opinion, which leaves us the opportunities I'll show you next. On the conservative scenario the fair value would be 163. This means a 56% upside potential. And for my realistic scenario, the price I got is $292, a 181% increase.